Welcome to another Super Deluxe Edition unboxing video. Today we're going to take a look at Swing Out Sister, Blue Mood, Breakout and Beyond. This is a new 8 CD box set from Cherry Red. This is the first sort of archive physical product we've had for a while from Swing Out Sister. Their first album, It's Better to Travel, was reissued way back in 2012, I think it was. There's been the odd greatest hits from Universal since then, but not really too much other than the band working on new material and putting out new records. So this effectively collects the first 3 studio albums, along with the Live at the Jazz Cafe album, which we'll talk about, and then there's a whole series of bonus discs with lots of enticing extra material. So this is a nice little compact box with an inner tray. The discs there. So if you bought either of the 2 level 42 box sets, then you'll know what to expect with this. So there's the level 42 box and Swing Out Sisters. So very much identical kind of style and presentation. So this comes with a booklet, and then you've got the 10 discs in their own cases. So we'll go through those discs one by one shortly. Now the booklet's got the classic image, as has the cover of the box from the old ID magazine. And basically the booklets are really good. I mean, I spoke to Corin and Andy from the band, and we went through album by album, B-side by B-side, had quite a long conversation about each record. So that's what's in this booklet, my sort of conversation with them. So hopefully you find that quite an entertaining read. And as I say, we covered some of the B-sides as well, which was quite nice to talk about, the remixes and the bonus B-sides. So there's some of the B-side chatter. So yeah, I think you'll agree that's a great little accompaniment with the discs themselves. But let's go through these then, disc by disc. So, as is probably very obvious, that isn't the original cover to It's Better to Travel. One of the things that's happened with this box is Corin Drury from the band, the lead singer, she's been involved to a degree, and she's actually helped out with the artwork and done some brand new illustrations for each of the discs, which is really good, I think, because it brings everything together quite nicely and gives it a kind of uniform feel to it rather than just sort of repeating the traditional album cover. So I think it's a nice touch, and it's great that the artist is actually involved as well. And these are, where it's the albums, these are the albums only, so there's no bonus tracks on here. It's Better to Travel. I'm not sure if it's ever been on CD without the bonus tracks, because originally there was 4 12-inch versions, and then even on the reissue in 2012 they added some slightly different bonus tracks at the end. So it's quite nice, I think, to have the album on its own. So these are just the usual kind of card wallets, and then the you can see there the disc reflects the outer artwork. So yes, this is just the album. All the bonus stuff, it's not missing, it's just been moved to a different place. So that was 1987, got to #1 in the UK. It has the 2 really big hits on it, Surrender and of course Breakout. Then Kaleidoscope World followed in 1989. Again, new artwork from Corin. This is an interesting record because it's kind of got that Bacharach influence to it, sort of middle of the road, sort of 60s string laden pop kind of thing. And Andy said to me, it might even be in the interview in the booklet, but he said to me that this was their one chance to make and the album they really wanted to make. Their stock was high, they'd had hits, the first record was a big success, so they had a budget and a willing record company, if you like. So that's kind of what this record was all about. The commercial success that they'd enjoyed with It's Better to Travel didn't really get repeated with this, but I think creatively it's a successful record, and there's some great stuff on here. Same year as Seeds of Love, Tears of Fears, of course, that this record came out. And then this is the 3rd album, and final actually studio album in this box set, 1992's Get in Touch with Yourself. This has Am I the Same Girl on it, which was, it wasn't actually as big a hit in the UK as I remembered, but I think it did very well generally across Europe, and it was one of those songs that was always being played on the radio, so maybe it felt like a bigger hit, or maybe it feels like a bigger hit than it actually was. But that was the single from this record. In America, Not Gonna Change was released as a single. That was remixed quite a bit, as we'll see later on. There's the disc. Now, Live in the Jazz Cafe. So this album, I think it was around 93, this album, but it was only ever properly released in Japan. There were tracks from it that ended up on B-sides, and there was a 2 CD edition of the next studio album, The Living Return, which isn't part of this box set, 1994. There was a 2 CD edition of that which did have some of the tracks from this, not all of them, but some of the tracks from Live at the Jazz Cafe on a bonus disc. But this is the full performance. It's a really good bit of content, I think, for this box set. Andy says in the notes how very much they wanted to capture the live arrangements that they'd worked hard to create at that time, and felt like, you know, they'd be lost forever, so they were very keen to record something, which is where this album came about. And I think it was funded from Japan, because the British record company wouldn't give them any money, so that's why it became a Japan-only release. So of course, as you'd expect, there's quite a lot of bonus remixes for this Swing Out Sister box set. There was loads of remixes in the UK, but there was also a lot of remixes in America. Some have been issued on CD in the past, some haven't, so this sort of more or less brings everything together, I think. So on this particular one, the first disc concentrates on the early years. You've got remixes of Blue Mood, Breakout, Fooled by a Smile, Communion, Twilight World, etc. And more remixes. This is the second remix disc. This is CD 6 in the box set. So again, more of this early years. So more. There's actually some of these Twilight World mixes were on American promo 12 inches and things like that. So you got vocal dubs, classical dub, instrumental dub. So they've never really been commercially released before. Some of these, as is noted in the booklet, had to be taken from vinyl because no original masters could be found. But despite that, I still think it's really good to have included them. What else? The Pop Stand remix for Surrender, that was on the American 12 inch. There's remixes of Waiting Game here. The World Travel mix of Twilight World, which has and there's a couple of different names for that remix, but that's a really good one. And the amusingly titled Even More Remixes disc. So this is the third and final disc of remixes. Just shows you how many remixes there were, but there's a lot of Not Gonna Change on here, including the classic club mix, which is the sort of Frankie Knuckles version. Where in the World, Am I the Same Girl, etc. So there's the disc for that one. So last but not least, this is CD 8, B-sides and edits. Swing Out Sister were really good with their B-sides. There was normally, certainly in the early years anyway, there's normally a new song as the B-side. So this collects everything together. Quite a lot of tracks on here. It tells you where the B-side comes from, which is always useful. And there's some edits on here as well. There's the Twilight World single edit, which I don't think Andy's that keen on, but somehow it's squeezed into this box set. So there's the final disc in the Swing Out Sister Blue Mood, Breakout and Beyond box set. So as I was saying earlier, all the illustrations and the colour palette and everything, I think it brings everything together quite nicely. At the end of the day, if you're buying this box set, you've probably got all the original albums. So I don't really see the need to repeat all the original artwork, so I really like this approach. And also you have got elements of the original artwork on the back of the actual studio albums. And there we go. So I hope you've enjoyed this look at Swing Out Sister, Blue Mood, Breakout and Beyond, which has just been released via Cherry Red. If you've enjoyed this video, why not subscribe to the Super Deluxe Edition YouTube channel for more great physical music unboxed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.